not be too difficult to get into, and at the same time have a certain intellectual capacity. And so it turned out to be more or less a jazz party.
This is travel
It's really hard to imagine, but Seattle's topography was only formed about 13 to 12,000 years ago at the melting of the ice caps during the last ice age. During that time, the ice caps eroded 4 canyons which are still filled with water today. Lake Sammamish, another one is Lake Washington, Puget Sound, and also Hood Canal. The rugged terrain left behind by these melting ice caps creates some challenges for people to navigate from one location to another. There's an elaborate system of tunnels here. There's suspension bridges. There are even floating bridges because the water's so deep here. And there's an elaborate ferry system, and that's what we're going to explore today.
The early version of the ferry system was known as the Mosquito Fleet. The Mosquito Fleet consisted of a group of privately owned steamboats that transported passengers and freight throughout the Puget Sound and its navigable waterways. One of the last remaining vessels from this fleet is the beautifully restored Virginia 5. As automobile ownership increased and roads and highways improved, passenger travel fell off. By the 1930s, the first car ferries were introduced and began to replace the runs previously started by the Mosquito Fleet. The most famous of these older ferries was the Kalakala. Its hull was designed in 1926 for a San Francisco ferry named Peralta, but its superstructure burned down. In 1935, it had a new superstructure built designed by Boeing engineer Louis Proctor, to which the ship owed its streamlined appearance. The vessel was a popular tourist attraction for locals and tourists alike, and it was voted as the second most popular tourist attraction after the Space Needle during the 1962 World Fair.
There are 2 pedestrian ferries. One goes from downtown to Vashon Island, and the other one goes from downtown to West Seattle. On the south end of Seattle, a conventional ferry connects Fauntleroy with Vashon and Southworth. The downtown ferry dock accommodates 2 routes, one to Bremerton, the other to Winslow. On the north side of Seattle, you find 2 ferries. One connects Edmonds and Kingston, and another connects Mukilteo with Whidbey Island. The Victoria Clipper provides a high-speed pedestrian service from downtown to Victoria, BC, and in the summer also makes stops in the San Juan Islands. So many people living in Bremerton or Vashon Island or Bainbridge Island commute straight into downtown Seattle and are able to circumvent the horrendous traffic that people on the mainland have to endure daily. Others use the ferry system for weekend trips to go to quaint cities such as Winslow or Kingston or Port Townsend, or drive to Polsbo, or they're going to the Olympic National Park, which is the northernmost rainforest in the world, where you can watch moss growing on moss. It's a stunning place to go visit if you haven't done so already. And tourists come out just to get a boat ride to onto the Puget Sound. Vashon Island is only reachable by ferry. It gets all of its groceries that way. It gets all of the building materials that way. It's a large island, so a lot of materials are carried daily across the water through the ferry system. Many kids commute from West Seattle to Vashon because it has a great school system out there. Now, whether you're a commuter or you are somebody going on a weekend trip, or you're a tourist visiting this area, a beautiful view and a relaxing passage across the water is almost always guaranteed. thank my business partner, Barry Bergner, for coming along today, and he's responsible for some of the incredible footage of the ferries, but somehow I feel like he had an ulterior motive for coming along.
Ice cream.